Hey guys, Greg Chaplin here, physical therapist and strength and conditioning specialist. And in this video, we're going to talk about what to do when exercises stop working or make you feel worse. This is actually pretty common, and although I help people as a doctor of physical therapy and strength and conditioning specialist to feel better with exercise, there comes a point in many people's journey, I know I was here as well, where exercises just stop working or make you feel worse, but you're still left with muscular tension and other symptoms. So what the hell are you supposed to do in this case? Well, I got 3 tips for you in just a second, but let's spend some time and talk about why I think this happens. Maybe if you can understand this piece of it, then when you employ the tips later in the video, you can get even better results. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So when we're in this process of healing from chronic pain, many times one of the things that happens is that we get to this point where we feel very disconnected from the body, like we're working against the body rather than with it. So the body feels like it's a problem, and then we feel like we're solving it kind of as this mechanic or detective or problem solver somewhere up in the head. And then this disconnection creates more resistance within the body to change. So think of this like almost like a relationship. If you were talking with someone and they were saying, hey, I'm having a really tough time, and then immediately you went in and tried to help them fix that situation, but all they wanted was support, well, they might get defensive. And this is kind of what happens with your body as well. So it's giving you tension and other symptoms as a way of saying, hey, there's something going on here. And oftentimes your response is, okay, let's try to fix that. And really what your body just wanted you to do was listen. So when you try to then fix it, the body can get defensive and come back with even more muscular tension. And then this cycle can just perpetuate itself. This is especially true if you're like me and you're just like super stubborn and you're like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to analyze this. I'm going to get to the root cause of this, the bottom of this. I'm going to fix it, blah, blah, blah. Right? And so then as you're doing exercise and that relationship with exercise and with your body is tainted by this approach that you've been taking, then like no matter what you do, especially if it's structured, it can start to increase that tension or increase those symptoms. And we don't want that. We want to find ways to start to work with the body rather than against it. So that's where these 3 tips come in. And where we're going to start with this is going to be reconnecting with the breath. And a lot of you that have tried breathing type techniques might be making the same mistake that I made, was doing it from the standpoint of always trying to have the correct breathing technique, right? And so again, it's like this kind of looking at the body as though it's a problem and then needing to fix it with the correct technique instead of learning to just tune in and pay attention. So one of the things that's really easy to do, or easy in theory to do, sometimes hard in practice because there's a lot of internal resistance to this, is just kind of relax in your chair, let go, and then either pick your nose or the area just at the lower rib cage and upper abdomen and monitor that for movement as your breath naturally goes in and out. And do your best here not to change it at all, but just notice it. And as you observe that passage of air coming in through the nose or the rise and fall in the abdomen, what often happens is you can find that your nervous system settles down and you kind of start to reconnect with your body. And then you're reestablishing that trust and connection. And then at that point, oftentimes that muscular tension will kind of come way down. So I know that sounds really simple. For some of you, that's going to be obvious. It's like, oh yeah, that's meditation, or that's kind of the first step of breath work. For others, you might not have tried that. You might feel some resistance to trying that. So if you're feeling that resistance, I'd say, hey, go ahead and give it a try. You really got nothing to lose here. And if you need some guided practice with that and other breathwork techniques, go ahead onto the link in the description, get my Breathwork Breakthrough 7-day challenge. Now, tip number 2 here is sort of an exercise-based tip, but also it's not exercise. And that is to start to do some exploratory movement type drills. And those type drills that I like the most are going to involve some sort of rolling, right? It's highly supportive. It's very low pressure physically. And if we can do it in a way where we're just kind of letting the body take us and roll us through various ranges of motion, then it can also be very low pressure from a mental standpoint as well. So we're not trying to do a correct form here or anything like that. We're just trying to use either our arm or leg to kind of roll towards the left or the right, or we could do kind of back and forth rolling, anything that just gets us into kind of a rhythm and a coordinated kind of pattern and in a really supported, grounded kind of a state, like rolling on the ground. those things are going to really work well together to start to reestablish that trust and connection and safety. And again, improving that relationship, allowing us to work with the body rather than against it. So this is going to probably start to sound like kind of a broken record, work with the body rather than against it. And last but not least, tip number 3 is to consider the way that you're paying attention to your body. So a lot of us are constantly monitoring the body to see how it feels. And there's kind of a right way and a wrong way to do this. So the wrong way to do this is to constantly be paying attention in a hyper-vigilant way and being really on guard to, oh, is my body in the right place? Is it doing the right thing? What am I feeling? Like that kind of hyper-anxious, overthinking type of way to relate to the body is actually just likely to produce more anxiety and more tension and more symptoms. But on the flip side, if we can become aware of physical sensations in more of an open, non-judgmental and accepting way, then we can actually use awareness, which is always already there, to allow the body to then regulate itself and calm down. So I want you to just try this for a second with me. So first, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that there's a shape of your pelvis, and think of what you know about your pelvis from pictures, right? So you know where the positions of the bones are, the muscles, ligaments, all sorts of things like that. And when you bring that to mind, you'll notice that the way you're constructing this is actually through thoughts in your head. Now, if you close your eyes and you just tune in to the direct sensations of temperature, pressure, and tingling down in that area, you'll notice that it's actually like a vague cloud of sensation, right? And it's actually not very precise at all. And then you can practice switching between these two modes, one of kind of thinking through concepts and the next kind of recognizing that direct sensation. And this gives you the difference between attention, which is a very thought-based way of relating to the body, and awareness, which is a more natural, sensory-based way of relating to the body. It's kind of non-conceptual, not mediated through thought. And by learning how to be more effortlessly aware like this, rather than hyper-vigilantly attentive, you can actually allow that body to relax just in the way that you're relating to it. So big picture here with all these 3 tips are to change the way that you're relating to your body, to work with it rather than against it. If you do this, then you'll ultimately find that once that relationship is repaired a little bit, then you can get back into more structured exercises without triggering this kind of separate, disconnected way of having this problem solver up in the brain, trying to fix this broken body. And instead, you'll foster this sense of connection, which is going to help you not only establish that safety and trust, but eventually, if you can then progress that through the more structured exercises, you're going to get that trust, resilience, and effortless and high-powered and peak performance-related motion if you kind of bring that far enough. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have questions, leave them down below in the comments. As always, like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a new video. And until next time, peace out. Oh, and last but not least here, we're going to be opening up the waitlist. Actually, it's already open for my brand new program, Total Body Restoration. It's a 12-week group coaching program. It's going to also have a course-based component to it. The point of the program is to help you move and feel your best by using posture and breathing-based activities. If you like the content that we were covering in this video, we'll be covering some of this, as well as some of the other content that you've probably seen on the channel related to a little bit more of the mechanical side. There'll be a good mix of both, and together you'll be able to use these to move and feel your best, and hopefully also to get back to activities that you love pain-free. So, okay, hope to see you there, and go down below and join that waitlist. Peace.